You are watching Q2cast TV.
Welcome to the Madman Cafe, live on Q2cast TV.
Broadcasting live from high atop his mountain fortress, the only place enough altitude to hide from his creditors. He's the man who once tried to teach a toaster to sing the blues. And somehow, he got a standing ovation. Lock your windows, hide your sanity, and definitely don't offer him a map. Here is the Madman.
Welcome to another edition of the Madman Cafe, live high atop my mountain fortress here in the island of Staten Island. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Just a little bit of news that's going on right now with me. Our faithful little producer, Mr. J, he's a little sick. He's in an emergency room right now. My wife is with him. So hopefully send some prayers out, some love and some strength. Hopefully he'll be able to get through this. He's going through a little bit of an asthma situation, but we have him in emergency. So let's cross fingers there to the situation on there. But they're all saying the show must go on. And speaking of the show must go on, coming to the stage right now. Hey, listen, it's Outpost Nerd. Hey, Outpost.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
And hey, Dave in the chat also. Dave's there with us.
Dave's
today.
actually here, man.
Yeah, he's actually there. And Snorter Poopus Cuber is also out there as well. I pronounced that right. Oh, sorry out there. Yes. Thank you. Prayers. Thank you, Snort, on there as well. Yeah, a lot going on. That's going on besides home issues. First, I want to bring up some little quick news on there. I just want to say a happy 75th birthday to one of the great directors of some low-budget films, Abel Ferrara, who's gave us films like King of New York, Miss 45, and Bad Lieutenant. Some great films there. I've talked about Miss 45 before. And he's also done Drill a Killer, a couple other things. And so a little happy birthday to him. Also, looks like they're pulling back on over in the UK on the digital ID that was going to happen for the internet and cards. Looks like the new leader, prime minister, to replace the Keir Starmer, will be doing this. But who knows if that's true or not? Can we trust him? Who knows? To that point, that story's coming up later, probably in another week or two on there. And also coming out on video, this is one of, if you haven't seen this movie, take a moment. It's a German movie, but go out and check this out. It's based on a true story. It is coming out on 4K Blu-ray. It's Christina F. This is a shocking movie. If you haven't seen this yet, do check it out. It's about drug addiction, about being addicted to drugs, and also coming off of it as well. David Bowie is in the movie, not directly, indirectly, as far as the concert. So that's why he's listed as being in this, because this was shot at one of his concerts as well. As you can see on the cover, at 12 it was angel dust, at 13 it was heroin. Then she took it to the streets. It is a shocking movie. It's based on it. Technically, the way they ended it, they try to make it a little of a okay ending, but the truth is, it seems like she never got off of it. So do check out this movie. It is really good. If you want to see, truly someone who's addicted on there and what they go through. I mean, it is a brilliant film that they did to honor this girl itself. Moving on. Also coming back to the theaters, Train to Busan is getting an update. It is coming out August 14th to celebrate its 10th anniversary. In fact, we got another one from the same director, Colony, which will be out very, very soon on there. But Train to Busan, one of the best, hands down, one of the best zombie flicks out there. Have you seen this one, Outpost?
I'm not a fan of zombie movies, to honesty. So I don't watch them that often, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing about the Koreans, Korea, Asia, and they create some great horror flicks. Especially from the zombie genre. My wife just watched the Korean movie Exit 8, which is sort of like Backrooms, but in a subway subway hallway, about a guy who gets off the train and he can't get out of the subway. Like you always get these long passageways, and it goes on and on, and then you get to the stairs and you go up. He can't get out of it. Yeah. So she said it was really weird. It was weird, but worth watching. It's if you have Shutter, it's on Shutter right now. Also, some news that's coming out of the animation world. Do you remember Duckman?
Oh, Jason Alexander, one of his funniest roles.
Yeah. Well, Gabor Kusop, which is part of the studio of Kladsky Coops, who put out that help with The Simpsons, Rugrats, Ogre Monsters. They're looking to do a remake on it, another season of it. They're working on it, and basically, yeah, thanks. I'll post on that one, in the private. Basically, they're working on another season of this. The thing about it is, the Cuspo has the rights, half the rights. The other rights are with CBS. Now they just got to convince CBS to basically, listen. We can do a whole new season of it, but we just got to get approval from you.
I remember seeing this on Comedy Central. Early Comedy Central.
It was USA Network was the original network that this was on.
Or maybe it was US. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was USA that
USA had this originally. I love this. This used to run also. This used to run also on the repeat on USA Up All Night. They used to run like when they used to have a short movie, Rhonda Shear or what's his name? Basically, they had a short movie. They were playing an episode of Duckman on the late night. Dave says, not a fan of the zombie genre, but did see this film and it was okay. Yeah, my wife preaches onto this. There is another version of this movie. I forgot the name of it. That's animated. It's like a prequel to it. Oh, Soul Station, which is it's animated. So it has like a prequel movie to that on the Train to Busan. Also, speaking of anime, we talked about before the last week the Tenchi Muyo Galaxy, basically being done Kickstarter. Well, as of today, and still 48 days to go, they're over $600,000.
How much were they asking for?
400.
Oh wow, yeah. So I saw. I was going through. I can't remember if it was Facebook or Twitter, and it's a ad came up for this, and it had Ryoko's original voice actors coming back, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so cool. It's like so nostalgic hearing her voice again, the character.
And considering that they're going to the pirate planet, so it's like it's going to be a Ryoko story.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good because you're going to meet the pirate queen.
The Tenchi in space was about the princess, really, and that was the only kind of sci-fi.
Well, you have Tenchi Universe, which is like
universe. Yeah, it was universe. They go back to like her home planet, and they had that space pirate that he has to fight. Oh, such an epic fight.
So yeah, we're out there. 48 days to go. We'll just reach the $1 million mark. This will be interesting if they get $1 million to produce this as well. And then, of course, obviously, some people have been talking about this. Akira has a new 35 millimeter master, which right now you'll be able to see it overseas in Japan, I think in the United Kingdom, but it'll be coming to theaters in IMAX here in the U.S. in September.
Is it Akira or Akira?
Akira. Some people say Akira. Some people say Akira. It just most I've always known it as Akira. to that point.
I've never heard that until you started saying it.
Yeah, I mean, most people like Akira. I'm used to saying Akira on there. But
I love watching like a good motorcycle chase, and they just do that Akira slide. It's like, I know that.
yeah,
It's in almost every. I've seen Raphael and the Ninja Turtles do that Akira slide on his motorcycle. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, this is a great movie, great animation, great backgrounds to this animation. They don't do these like anymore. And people were giving some complaints to the new Ghost in the Shell series, and it's like, well, Ghost in the Shell was animated similar to the Akira movie, the backgrounds and all that. Supposedly, I haven't seen episode 3 today because with all the insanity that's been going on. They said the animation was just phenomenal on the fight scene on today's edition onto there. So we got that's all the news fit the print, as they would say, to the situation. But moving on to the main subject today. Now, we know the Odyssey is out there, and we'll be talking about it a little bit later. Obviously, I haven't seen it. Outpost, you haven't seen it. So basically, most of this, what we're going to talk about is basically the situations around it. But that's later on the box, when we talk about the box office and when Snob gets here as well. But what I want to talk about is basically how Hollywood has, can you say a true
forgotten is not the right word. They don't care enough to do it anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
They haven't forgotten.
You're right. Forgotten is the wrong word, but in a way it is also, because like when I was talking about Pens and Poisons, on the other hand, with considering about the Odyssey, about English literature, how it's they're making things forgotten in that end as well, to the point. So basically, when you're doing an epic movie about something like the Iliad or the Odyssey, or maybe something from Jason and the Argonauts, a lot of those other Greek mythology movies, and you're like saying, well, this doesn't look like when I remember it, to the point on the story. You're wondering what they're teaching as far as the stories themselves, to the point. But what I want to bring up is, you in the past, a lot of these movies are great films, great epic movies, not perfect, but great epic, but shot in a way that they don't shoot like they do anymore. And however you want to put it, that it's basically they've gotten lazy, they've gotten too political. You could go throw all these at you. Always go back to these movies, because they are the past, and they're going to try to make remakes of these and say this is the better version of the situation. But go to the past, and you'll find these great titles again on there.
Well, D-Pen says something interesting in chat.
Go ahead.
That
hold on, I didn't even bring up the chat.
I see.
Yeah,
I can see where he means, but there are some instances, very few instances, where we've had those long shots. And I remember one that when it came out, everyone was just blown away. In the first season of Daredevil, that hallway scene with him coming in and out of the rooms, just throwing guys through the walls, and all of it. It's just the camera just panning back down. And it lasts like a minute or two. And it was just so amazingly done. And the acting and the fight choreography had to be perfect, because there was no place to edit, where if you got anything wrong, to edit, to splice up the shot.
Hi, Jill. Jill's rating our stream
on Rumble.
She's hitting on Rumble. Hi, Jill. Jill, did you want to come on board to talk a little bit? We're talking epic movies, and a little later we'll talk the box office if you want to come.
Well, we're going to talk about that too.
So basically, I just want to start off with a couple of movies. And we'll talk about, how good they are to the point. Let's start off with a little bit of Cecil B. DeMille. 10 Commandments.
Oh yeah.
10 Commandments. One of the greats. People say, oh no, it's because it's Cecil B. DeMille and he's racist and all that. No. He's a great cinematographer. I mean, if you've ever seen, of course, obviously every Easter, you've gotten, uh, Cecil B. DeMille's The Ten Commandments plays on ABC all the freaking time, to the point, every year around Easter. And the movie's long, even with the commercials, it takes you into the overnight, sometimes past midnight, depending on when they start. I mean, Charlton Heston, such a great cast in there. Charlton Heston, Vincent Price, uh, Yul Brenner, many great actors in this movie. And that's the other thing is the great actors that they pull for these movies. I mean, today you see these actors, okay, Tom Holland and blah, 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 and all that. It's no. Back then, you had the actors, you had the true superstars of the movies themselves. Q Bird says, great movie. Yeah, it is a great film. Great acting. You had people from that era, for the Egypt and all that on there. And you see, when you look at Heston, he tanned himself up to look for that area, in the world. Because you got to remember, you see a lot of the movies, especially like with the Odyssey on there, you don't have the look to that territory. Recently we talked about, what was it? One of the animes that they made into live action, One Piece. And they talk about, what's her name that they made her, they got someone that was dark skin. And it's basically, I'm sorry? BB. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. BB. And basically,
V.
Thank you. Hold on one second. I'll be back in a second. Can you take a little bit on this?
Yeah, what they do, there's such a list nowadays of things boxes they have to check off. They have to have a diverse casting, gender partiality, LGBTQ, and that's okay if done right. But we're seeing all that done to the detriment of the entire story. They have to change characters to fit into the mold instead of having creating a mold to fit the story. There's so much they've taken in. Speaking about the big topic, the Odyssey, they've taken so many things from other stories that's not Homer, that's not the Odyssey. Elliot Page's character, Sinon, is not in any Homer writing at all. It's from Virgil's I can't even pronounce this, Aeneid and other myths. They're not. So why are you taking stuff that has nothing to do with the source material and just mixing it up and then calling it something? If you're gonna do that, change the name. Like there's one where Travis Scott makes a cameo as this bard, because Nolan wanted to include him because he wanted to toward the oral poetry aspect, but he does it in rapping. Rapping in the Odyssey. Oh, that's the stupidest thing. It's not that Hollywood has forgotten. They don't want to, because they have to fit all these check marks. Like behind the scenes, they have crew diversity. It's about how you look, not how well you do the job. And another thing, that if Hollywood would just cut this out, it would save them millions, or at this point, probably billions of dollars. They hire consulting groups and activist organizations to review scripts and production of details to avoid offensive tropes and misrepresentations.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I was just talking about like how it's not. They have so many a checklist that they have to do. Yeah. To do when making modern movies.
I'm trying to find I had a copy of one from Disney, and I gotta find it again. I know I had it. I got it from Nerdrotic a couple of years ago. Back when he was reporting this. Just a bit of an update. My little Jay, he's going to be staying the night at the emergency, so they have him in an oxygen tank. So it's to that point. Qbert, rapping and a lot of modern slang is from what I've heard. I guess what.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is rapping in the Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold that thought to a little bit later. So we'll go through this on there. But what I was saying.
Well, I was talking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know what other movies you're
Yeah.
going to be bringing up.
Basically, as I was saying, 10 Commandments. You saw Heston. He tanned up. To the point, and a lot of the other actors also. When you saw the point to balance out on there, and you had extras that were from that part of the world. You had to that point. So you wanted to put that in there, of course. Going on, of course, obviously, Ben-Hur is another one, which also Heston is in that as well. Even though the little bit of errors here and there, like the watch in the chariot scene on there, but you look at Ben-Hur, it's also such a great epic, such large enhancement with 10 Commandments and Ben-Hur, the majesty, the how it basically shot, it's how big to these things. I mean, this is long before CGI, Spartacus is the other one, long before the green screening or anything to that nature. You had these movies that were epically done, epically shot with hundreds or thousands of actors shooting scene to scene on these things. And these directors, they took to the moment, to that situation on there. And basically, going to the next one on top of that is, of course, Cleopatra as well with Elizabeth Taylor and Richard Burton. That whole scene where they have her, they're carrying her out, to the point, look how large and extravagant that is.
Yeah, I'm sorry, in 15, 20, 25 years, no one's going to be talking about the Odyssey, but we're still talking about these movies 40, 50 years later.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, these are great films, beautifully done, beautifully shot. Yeah, you could sit there and talk about the little bit of errors here and there, but when you look to the perspective of the time period this was out, these movies were way ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
And still, people watch them constantly on either television, cable, streaming, or they own it, on physical media itself. Qbert says, I got to see Ben-Hur on the big screen a few years ago, and wow, yeah. And I think they're bringing it back out again for the big screen.
I watched it in high school in English class.
I think most people saw it in English class back. You've seen it, and I'm older than you. We had it also too. When it comes down to that situation. And then, of course, we get to some of the great special effects of these two movies. Jason and the Argonauts.
Yes.
Such a great film. Tom Armstrong. Hold on, I'll be right back. Continue for a moment.
Yeah, Jason it was stop motion, but it was just such well. It was a mixture of stop motion and live action. I remember the epic skeleton fight. That was just utterly amazing. Or the what was his name? The owl. No, that was Clash of the Titans. But Jason is another amazing Greek epic that I absolutely love. They did a mini series with it had Dennis Hopper as his Jason's uncle. It's such a
I'm back.
It's an amazing look. Okay, yeah, I got Clash of the Titans mixed up with Jason and the Argonauts for a second. Yeah, but these movies they didn't really, I think, cut any corners when it came to special effects.
Yeah, Kubert, the Talos, the bronze
Yeah,
giant.
the Bronze Giant. Yeah,
Yeah,
these movies were just
yeah, and like I was saying, the cast:
these
Todd
movies.
Armstrong, Honor Blackman. If you know who Honor Blackman is, Pussy Galore from James Bond. Nancy Kovac,
Yeah,
of course, the great Ray Harryhausen with the special effects in this movie. A man ahead of his time when it came to these kind of special effects, including Talos the Bronze Statue.
who played Hercules in this one?
Hercules was. Hang on, I got the cast up here.
Nigel Green.
I believe.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's not the. Well, you got to remember this was part British cast also, so you know.
Yeah,
This movie was done, so you had a lot of
he
British
played Little
actors.
John.
But speaking that you say Clash of the
Okay.
Titans, of course, Clash is on this list.
Yeah,
Great film.
the Leviathan, the Medusa, the skeletons, the owl.
Hold on again. I'm sorry. There's a delivery service at my door. Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, Clash of the Titans. This one I enjoyed the recent one they did, but this one is always my favorite. Um, Laurence Olivier as Zeus, awesome. Harry Hamlin as Perseus. Maggie Smith as Thestius. I can't. I'm not. Even, I hate these Greek names sometimes, but the it was just a mix of beautiful model work when you had to put in the effort when you're doing these models. Yeah, the Medusa was amazingly done. The Kraken, release the Kraken. I loved it. This was when you had to put like prop designers, set builders, they had to put in the extra work because you didn't have CGI to really cover mistakes in your builds that they seem to do, or even full out CGI to build up. The first CGI, like the movie I remember the most that had the heaviest CGI was The Last Starfighter. And even then, with that, because they basically had to redo they had to build from the ground up the programming and the hardware and software to make that movie what it was. And without it, we would not have modern CGI to the extent we do today. But this was right before, a few years before Starfighter and all that. So it was model work, beautiful models, beautiful sets, but they were also like the costumes were beautiful, but they were simple. Like the gods were not in this adorned crazy armor. If I remember correctly, they were in these beautiful white robes, and it it was just the stop motion. It's making a comeback, but it's almost like um, a novelty when we see a stop motion animation. We've had long running stop motion franchises like Wallace and Gromit. I actually just watched a couple of Wallace and Gromits the other day.
I'm back. Sorry, sorry, folks, with the interruption. There's a lot of insanity in this household right now. So, okay.
I was just talking about like how this was right a few years before CGI really became a big thing with like movies like Tron and Clash of the Last Starfighter.
I heard you mentioned about was it 2D or stop motion?
Stop motion.
Yeah. Stop motion is making a major comeback with companies like Lakia Studios.
I was getting into that.
Lakia Studios, who did Coraline. I think what is it, in October? Is it October?
But it's still pretty much a novelty.
Oh,
still,
no, wait till you see Wildwood. Wait till
I've seen the
Yeah,
previews.
Wildwood may change the situation. You also have a Mexican studio that did Francadelia, which did
Yeah, we talked about that
on
a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Netflix. Which I think there's another studio they're going to be doing something else. So there is a comeback on it. The only problem is like Wallace and Gromit, and we talked about this before. They're going to have a problem during production when they run out of clay. Now they say, how can they run out of clay? The clay that they use is a specialty clay. And the thing about it is it's only manufactured by one company in the world. That company has folded. Now, the company that does Wallace and Gromit, the production studio, they have bought up as much as they could to their stores. So once they're out, they're out. They're trying to find a substitute to that point.
Did not know that.
Yeah. So that's been going on with that. But yeah, Wildwood, and the thing is, Lakia has 2 other projects in the works behind Wildwood. So they're not done.
Mm.
And you have to remember, here's the difference with Lakia Studios than other animation studios, including Disney. Lakia Studios is a one and done. There's not going to be a Coraline 2. There's not going to be a Fubo and the
They have flat out
Guitar 2.
refused to do a sequel.
I'm sorry?
They have flat out refused to do a sequel. They said we are not doing a sequel of Coraline.
Exactly.
They refused to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. They're not going to be doing a sequel. They're one and done. They've done the story. Now they're going to move on to another story. Wildwood is that next big story. The beauty, I mean, the special effects alone to this. I mean, assuming the stop motion effects alone is beautiful. They built a model of an actual house. The house that they have in this movie that's coming up exists. It's a real house. And they made a model version of it extremely detailed. That's why when you see movies like Clash of the Titans and you look at it and you're like, wow, this is look at Medusa. Look at everything other, everybody that's, all the creatures in here, Pegasus and all that, and how it's done. And then you move forward and you see all this stuff that's going on today that should get more critical acclaim. That should, they've been nominated. Like Lakia has been nominated. But the problem is they're left out in the dust when it comes to the situation on promotionals. That there are people out there that just...
Well, it's not just that. It's the people in charge. The studios, they have their own little cliques, and these studios are outside. They don't want to let them in. They're so uptight and hoity-toity about what they praise. It's like, if it was fair, Avengers would have won like Best Picture the year it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Would have won more awards, but they won't. They will never do it because superheroes and science fiction is still looked down upon by these. Oh, we're artists. Get over yourself and get the stick out of your ass. Realize you're not just artists, you're civil servants to an extent. You make things people want to see. You need to pay attention to what people want. You're providing that's what any product, be it food, clothing, movies, you have to listen to what people want. And that is what Hollywood has been failing to do for the past 20, 30, 40 years. Since these great movies stopped being made, they stopped to listen. If these idiots, it's when filmmakers stopped running the studios and assholes with business degrees started being put in charge. If they listened to what we, the audience, want, we'd be having new Stargate coming out within a few months. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have this crappy Star Trek or Star Wars that we've been having in the past decade. They need to listen, but they don't, because no matter what they do, they will keep a job and they will make money. And it's not, and this is where me and a couple of other people in our group butt heads. It's not really about making money anymore. It's about earning social justice points with your products.
Mm.
You want to make something where if someone came at you and said, "Oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot." Oh no, look what I made. I made Star Wars. I made Star Trek Academy. I'm on your side, and here's proof. That's all it is. You don't, and this is why we don't get these epic action movies, adventures where the one guy versus the world. I heard someone say on X the other day, and it kind of blew my mind. He said it used to be one man versus the world, a team, one hero versus a team of villains. But now that dynamic has shifted. It's the team of heroes versus the individual. It's the group versus the individual when it used to be the individual versus the group.
Just want to say hi over at Rumble on Low Spectric Linux Gaming. Thank you for coming over on there, over on our Rumble side. Seems like we got a crowd over at Rumble today.
Cool.
Thank you. Especially thank you to Jill. Jill's probably brought them over on there. Yeah, you're right on to that situation. You know, and the thing about it is that, you know, and today, this is something I found out, and this is the next thing to talk about is, hang on, I'm going to sneeze now. Hang on. Oh. Okay. Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind is such a great movie. Clark Gable, Vivian Leigh, such a great movie.
I think, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Yes, on there. Yeah, Dave just saw it. He says, just watch the Wildwood trailer. Very impressive. Yep, it is. It is from what they've done. Gone with the Wind. Today, Gone with the Wind. If you go to Netflix to watch this, they're throwing up, yeah, this movie's about racism. And if you want to learn more about that, you can contact the site on BLM. You know, on there. Outpost, can you take over for a little bit? I have an incoming call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gone with it. We have to learn about the past so we don't repeat it. And a way we can do that is there's a demand, Depend, for action movies. We've had some great action movies, but they're not advertised or supported by the studios as much as they should be. One that comes to my mind was that recent Mortal Kombat, the first Mortal Kombat. It was great. They had great characters, funny moments, great action. And then when the second one came out a few months ago with Carl Urban, it kind of flopped because it did not have the support that it should have had. And I don't know why Hollywood won't make a good one. They won't put the support from the studios behind it. And Gone with the Wind, we see that the era of transition from the old South to the new South. And we need to learn about that time. Enjoy the movie, read a good history book. You know, history books are just as slanted in some ways. But we need to learn about these what happened before, so we don't repeat the problems and we don't let others repeat the problems, because that's one thing they want to do. They want to erase history. Marx and all those revolutionaries, they wanted to erase the history. They wanted to tear down the statues. They wanted to do away with what did the mustache man do? He burned books because he did not want people learning about the past. And Gone with the Wind is a prime example of that transitional period from the Old South to Reconstruction. And it also needs to be a good one, Burr, because we just need escape. We need to escape. these movies, they allowed us to escape into a different time, to put aside the issues that we're facing outside and just turn off our worries and just enjoy epic, great storytelling. And we do not have that anymore. It's all about pushing agendas. It's all about what I have the list right here. Let me bring that up. It's this idea that it's not about entertaining, it's about educating, correcting, and lecturing the audience. That's all it is. It's about lecturing us. It's about telling us what to feel and what to think, and not, or telling us how to feel and how to think, and not just to think and feel. I had my theater professor, he said something to me that before I'd never thought of. He told us that us and as actors, our job is not to make you feel the audience feels good. It's not our job to make you feel bad. It's not our job to make you feel anything specific. It's our job to make you feel. Period. Oh, see, we don't get these kind of stuff. This kind of stuff around here, around where I live. I would love to go see that in theaters. Oh. But it's, we need to be able just to turn off, and that's, I think, the problem nowadays. Everyone's just so mentally overstimulated, overexerted, that we're not allowed to just turn our brains off and just watch some not mind-numbingly good action comedies or anything. It always has to have a slant, and that's why with movies coming up like Spaceballs 2, I'm yes, it's Mel Brooks, but the last big movie he did was in what, 2000 with the producers. That's the last one I can remember him making, and he didn't even direct it. I understand. Well, he's in his 90s. Yeah, yeah, I get that, but it's just, they're. It's like a lot of movies, like on Disney Plus, like The Fox and the Hound has like, I think, a warning. Like all these movies from like the 80s and before on Disney Plus have these warnings before before they play. It's utterly ridiculous. Now, I don't mind like a movie set in like the 30s or 40s, um, having characters who are dealing with the racial issues of the day, but don't convolute what was happening back then with what's happening now. Two vastly different things. Hello, Jill. Did you send a message to Madman? Did you want to come on? He had to step away. But have you seen The Odyssey yet, Joe? Has anyone in chat seen The Odyssey yet? I have not been able to catch it. I was busy. Nope. Oh, I was busy all weekend. I had my 20-year class reunion, so I was out having fun most of the weekend. But it was a blast. I saw a lot of my old friends that I grew up with that I hadn't seen in a long time. But I'm wondering. Oh, damn. Yeah, I had to get a starter for your new car. That's a pricey thing. But we nowadays when we have something, it's all like the character has to have this personal growth, when sometimes I want my hero not to, I want them just to beat the tar out of the villain. Not no, but hell no. Yeah, low spec. I'm kind of the same way. I'll watch it just because I can come and talk about it. That's like me Snob and the past stories are so much better. My favorite version is the miniseries, the Armada Santi miniseries. It had such a great cast. Uh, Looked beautiful. The ships were amazing. One of my favorite moments is when he returns home and finds the suitors have just ransacked his home, and Athena has disguised him as the beggar that no one recognizes. And Penelope comes out and gives the test of shooting the arrow between the 20 notch axes, and you all the suitors, they can't even string the bow, let alone shoot it. And this little old man, decrepit old man, comes walking up, and like it's nothing, just uh, um, puts the bowstring on and shoots it, and clean to just boom, 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 boom. And right there, when the arrow goes through the final axe notch, his disguise drops, and they realize it's Odysseus, and they're just all aghast. And Odysseus has this great speech about, I'm sentencing you to death. And the head suitor asks him, like, what is our crime? Yes, we treated your wife as a queen. Yes, we ate your food, drank your wine, and lived off your land, but all that can be replaced. And he has this amazing line. I need to go back and actually read the Odyssey and see if this is actually in Homer's literature. He says to him, he's like, "You're guilty of trying to steal my world. The world that I built with these two hands, with the woman I love." And he goes on, and Telemachus has been just angry for years that the suitors have been doing this. And he's able to let loose, and they just kill all the suitors. And it's just such an epic, and that line that you tried to steal my world. We're on the same planet, but we're all in different worlds if you think about it. My reality is not the same as Jill's, as Burr's, or as Madman's. We all have our own. It's almost like, oh, it's my truth. No, that's taking it way too far. Um, I'm I'm wondering how they've done that with the casting in the Odyssey, because it's like Zendaya is playing Athena for some reason. This idea that the gods are, if you read about the gods, they were awful. They were not heroic. They were egotistical, manipulative, selfish pricks. And that selfishness on Poseidon's part is what sent Odysseus on his 10-year odyssey back home. If it was not for Poseidon, the Greeks would not have gotten in with the horse. And but of course, Odysseus he's a smart man. He's an egoist. And he let that get the better of him. I'm wondering, I would love to get like a historian to talk about this with, someone who actually knows it, who's studied The Odyssey much more than I have. But we cannot keep allowing our history to be changed and then wondering why the younger generations are completely idiotic when it comes to history. When they're making the same mistakes that those in the past made, we're seeing them today. But we've had such great. The 80s was just full of great action movies. The 90s, we saw just a pinnacle. One epic, great movie was Excalibur. I remember watching Excalibur. A few friends of mine watched it. Who did? Someone did not start their camera or their.
Okay, I'm back.
Who dis?
Snob, are you there?
Yeah, hold on.
I'm floundering here, guys. Get
I'm
in here.
sorry. What are you up to? Are you up to Gone with the Wind?
I talked about it. My main thing is they want to kind of disregard this movie, but we need to learn. This is the whole thing with these epic movies and this revisionist history. We need to know. We need to watch these movies so we learn about the time they're set in. Because this, especially Gone with the Wind, is a amazing story of transition from the old racist South to Reconstruction era South after the war, and how the aristocratic class of the old South had to really change with the time.
But moving on
And
out of
some
Gone
of
with
them
the
flat out
Wind on there, of course, Lawrence of Arabia. He's an old-fashioned guy.
I've never seen this
such
one.
a great epic movie. It is one of the greats. It's one of the greats to the point. Just a bit of an update. Yeah, definitely my little one. He's going to have to stay in an oxygen tent for at least today. So see what happens. See what happens. My wife is on her way home right now. So to that point. And Snob's here.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, Lawrence of Arabia, of course. Great film to that point. After this, let's go a little Western. And one of the greats, Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West. You haven't seen this movie? I mean, of course you say, oh, why not, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or Fistful of Dollars and stuff like that. Those are great. They are great. But this is the great. I mean, the cinematography. This is one of the only Sergio Leone movies that was shot in the United States. Most of the other films, the Clint Eastwood spaghettis and all the other ones he's done, were shot overseas. This is one of the only ones that was shot here. In fact, in Monument Valley. I think it's Monument Dead Valley. Because basically it's Indian land, and they allowed him to shoot there. So you have some beautiful cinematography for this. And some of the best, they right now, if you look on YouTube, there are a lot of YouTubers who are producers, who have done cinematography, who have done videos on this, on the breakdown of this movie. I mean, who better you get Charles Bronson and Henry Fonda in a movie, and Henry Fonda's the bad guy. And Henry Fonda plays it. This, of all of his film, this is one of his greatest role. You would not think Henry Fonda is a bad guy.
Yeah.
And then Enrico Moroni, the soundtrack to this movie. That's another thing we haven't talked about yet. The soundtracks to movies. When you go back to we were talking Ben-Hur, not Ben-Hur, 10 Commandments, great soundtrack on that. Great, to that point. But you get to hear to Enrico Moroni such a great. Hey Cam, how you doing on there? Um, Such a great soundtrack. Of course, knowing you probably haven't seen this Outpost. Snop, have you seen this movie?
Once Upon a Time in the West. I don't think so. If so, it's been forever. Yeah.
Yeah, you also have Jason Robards in this movie. Great role too. Also, Marconi. That's what I'm saying. Marconi is awesome. He is a great. I mean, if you've seen this movie, Once Upon a Time in America, anything that Marconi has done, it's the soundtrack is on top. It is just superb. This falls so great. Everything from, for example, everybody sort of has a soundtrack to themselves. Bronson, the harmonica, he calls himself harmonica, and you get that harmonica, sound in there when he shows up, or he's in the background. You get that harmonica sound in with a little bit of a tone of music. It just works so well. If you guys haven't seen this, get this on physical media. It's not that expensive. I think it's $20 on physical media. On there, maybe a little bit more on there. Cam says The Mission, The Untouchables. Yeah, exactly. He's done all those as well. Hi, Keely. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon from Huntsville on there. But yeah, such a great soundtrack. Highly, as far as a Western, you go to, it's long, but it's well worth it. The gunfight.
Okay, you're forgetting one of Charles Bronson's greatest movies, though. Come on.
Now you're
forgetting one of his greatest.
Oh, I know. But the thing about it is, if you haven't seen this yet,
you should have picked the other one.
It's no. You will say, if you've seen this movie, you would say, yeah, absolutely. He plays such a great role.
Come on. We're forgetting the Magnificent Seven.
Better than the Magnificent Seven. And I have a Magnificent Seven type on this. No. Trust me, as great as a role as him in the Magnificent Seven, this is better. This is a fantastic role.
Oh, you had Yul Brynner and Steve McQueen as well alongside him in that movie. Come on.
Put it this way. The first 10 minutes of this movie will blow you away. The first 10 minutes.
Oh, that's right. James Coburn was in it in Magnificent Seven too.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a great film. It is a great film. Moving on a little bit more. We got to move a little ahead. I'm sorry for all the delays we've had today. Of course, The Longest Day. Great war epic. How can you deny a movie? In fact, Henry Fonda's in this one too. How can you deny a movie with John Wayne, Henry Fonda, Robert Mitchum, Sean Connery, and Richard Burton?
Everybody's in that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone in this movie. When you put a lot of stars, you see today, like I say again, you put all these stars in the movie today, and you're like, on there. Back then, these were the movie stars. We don't have the movie stars anymore like we used to. To get a epic movie of this nature, of D-Day, how this was shot. I mean, later on, you had what was that? Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Which is also fantastically shot as well. And you get it's a little bit more graphic to the point, but as far as when they're hitting Omaha Beach, and it's to see something back then like this, and it's just wow. You're always saying wow to a lot of these films. To the point. And talking about other war pictures, and we're going to go a little bit forward here. And this is, even though this has been plagued with problems, and there's a documentary out there on the problems of this movie, I think one of the most well shot war picture of its time, Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen, Brando, Hopper, Fishburne, Harrison Ford, Scott Glenn. I mean, you have so many people in this movie. Fishburne, very young in this movie. He was like, he's practically a kid in this movie.
Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
The battle scenes on here, the helicopter scene, and them coming in attacking the small village to Ride of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
There are other things. There's an anime movie out there called Gate, which does a homage to this scene.
Well, you
But
can say
instead of like they're dealing with the Vietnamese, they're dealing with, because the Gate is about being in a fantasy universe, but with present day technology, and you're fighting off men with armor and swords and dragons, and you're doing Ride of the Valkyries with helicopters coming in, shooting up a castle.
well, you can go up to anybody and say the line, "I love the smell of napalm in the morning," whether they've seen, hold on,
Yeah,
whether they've seen it or not, they will know what you're talking about. That's anybody. This movie, it's
Right.
there are some movies that you don't even have to see, but they become such a so culturally ingrained into our collective consciousness that everyone knows something about it, whether they've seen it or not. That's one of this Apocalypse Now is one of these movies.
Absolutely. Absolutely to this point. And I mean the scenery, the scenes that have been shot. I mean, like I said, go see the documentary of all the issues. It's also, the film documentary is so good on this, because you can imagine all the problems that they had shooting a film of this nature, out in the open the way they did. And you had other movies that had made fun of this. I mean,
Tropic Thunder.
What was that other one? Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder. If you look at Tropic Thunder in a way is almost a documentary version of Heart of Darkness, in a way, in a comedic way, because that's some of the crazy issues that basically they went through filming this. They're out in the jungle, people getting sick. Some of the scenery, not hitting on target, to the point, explosions and stuff. I mean, you're dropping explosives left and right in this movie. How many war pictures after this have you seen do something like this? And I'm not talking like Saving Private Ryan, to the point. I mean, you look at how much explosives that they used in this movie. You don't see that many films, anymore like this. Most of them now these days, they're using CGI and almost AI. Your thoughts on that, Snob?
Yeah.
Jesus.
They are using
moving
CGI
on.
instead of explosives.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're blowing up things, left and right. When you see buildings being blown up, I mean, in this case, villages being burnt, to the point, forest lines being trampled upon. I mean, that whole scene. I love the napalm in the morning. What was it? They dropped the freaking several jets dropping napalm over a small section of the forest.
Yeah.
I mean, how many, they had to get that in one take. They had to. Because that kind of hard to reset that sector. But also just the scenery of them going down the river, and it's just the premise that it just gets more insane. The madness just continues as you go on further down the Nile River.
Well, it's a direct remake of Heart of Darkness, right? Yeah. This is what I have.
Well, no, Heart of Darkness is the documentary.
No, Heart of Darkness is the original story about a guy who goes down.
Oh, yeah, the novel. I'm sorry. Yeah.
In Africa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because the documentary is called the same thing, too.
Because, it's called that because it's a takeoff of the book, right? I mean, and this is my problem with Nolan's present Odyssey. Though, again, I haven't seen it. I've watched a lot of critiques about it and background about it. And it seems that he's done it. He's half-assed it, right? So he starts out, Nolan in The Odyssey starts out originally, like months ago, he said, hey, I'm going to make an accurate version of The Odyssey. And I was excited about that because that said to me, like, we haven't had a big budget, top line director make a accurate example of these movies. I mean, there's some good ones done in the past, but, they weren't, big budget. This is in the 60s and stuff, CGI. They didn't have the ability to do some of the things we do now. We could do it very, very accurately, very well. And I was hoping to see something like that. But then as we get closer to the opening of this movie, we find out there's all kinds of changes made. This sort of the accuracy is not there anymore. And I would have no trouble personally if he had said, listen, I'm going to make a movie like The Odyssey, but it's going to be my own take on it, such as how Apocalypse Now is a modern version, if you want to call it that, or just a remake, a different version of Heart of Darkness, or how Oh Brother, How Art Thou, or sorry, Where Art Thou? That's what it's called. I always get that wrong. Mm-hmm. That is a modern take of The Odyssey, right?
Right.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? With what's his name? Clooney, and it's these three guys escaping. They've escaped from prison and stuff. But it's a modern, it's a different take on that. But it follows the storyline. I mean, if Nolan came up and said, "Hey, I'm going to remake The Odyssey. I'm going to set it in Baltimore, and it's going to be with a bunch of gangbangers who get into some sort of epic street battle, and then they have to they're running away or something something like that." And I would say, hey, great, Travis Scott in there, sure, put the rap music in there, that's cool. West Side Story versus Romeo and Juliet, right? That kind of take on it, that's great. But he didn't do that, right? He says it's going to be accurate, and then he doesn't. He takes this very left-wing feminist version of interpretation of the poem, which no one else has ever come across. I mean, let's face it, this is a movie about men going to war. It's not looking at through the feminist lens. What kind of crap is that? I mean, it should be looked at through a masculine lens. It's men going to war, and he takes that and uses it. I mean, it's cultural vandalism. Mm-hmm. They're attempting to subvert or change our culture and de-emphasize the masculine and emphasize the feminine, just for what? To destroy Western culture? I don't know why. I mean, I've got no trouble with having movies for a masculine audience or for a feminine audience. I mean, I don't go to my wife's Hallmark channel and complain that the Hallmark movies are not realistic about men, or they should be written with more men and have more explosions and car chases in them, right? We don't do that. So why do we see the opposite? That's my problem with this whole with this version. I mean,
there's a Ralph Fiennes version, which is the end of the Odyssey, called The Return, which is just the end portion. There's no gods or anything. It's just him arriving home, and they just take it from that point.
Yeah, and you can do pieces. I mean, what I'd like to see would be probably you'd have to do at least a trilogy or something. Maybe the first movie, the Iliad, the second two movies, the Odyssey. You'd have to split it in half to do it correctly, and just do a really accurate, high, basically a Lord of the Rings of the Odyssey. I mean, just think how awesome that movie would be.
And speaking of Lord of the Rings is in my listing here as well, which is a great epic film. Took 3 films. Well, technically it took 6 films, but that's if you could include The Hobbit, but The Hobbit wasn't that good. Lord of the Rings itself.
And you can't do that.
What? The Hobbit? Hobbit is part of the story.
The Hobbit, when you're talking, they're two different things. This is the discussion I had with my kids.
No, you have to remember. What's the book that they write? They both write There and Back, A Hobbit's Tale, and Lord of the Rings. From the perspective,
you're saying exactly what I'm trying to say, dude.
Oh, go ahead.
See, there are different points of view that, yes, they're this. I can't explain it very well. But
okay, we'll get back to it.
There's so much in these that so much left out of these these movies. Like we don't hear about half the characters. Like in the scene where Arwen is supposedly she takes Frodo from Aragorn and takes him off the Rivendell. That's not Arwen.
Mm-hmm.
In the books, that's another elf.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely correct.
You don't mention they don't even mention Tom Bombadil,
Mm-hmm.
which he's an important character in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who say that, oh, I figured out what Tom Bombadil is. No, you haven't. Shut up.
No,
I see so many people. Oh, he's Tolkien inserted. No, he's not. Tolkien has literally said, I don't know what Tom Bombadil is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the thing is, they were summoned to. This is a thing me and my kids talked about last year when we studied The Hobbit. They were Glorfindel. Yes, thank you, Cam. Thank you. I can always forget his name. Supposedly a very powerful, but it'd be so stupid to send a elven princess out into the wilds to face basically demons in the Nazgul. Why would Elrond let his daughter, of all people, go and then turn around and be so concerned about her loving Aragorn? But you're willing to send her out into the woods to face the Nazgul? No, sir. Doesn't make sense. It's one thing. I'm a purist when it comes to Lord of the Rings. So
didn't she sneak out?
No, we don't know. No, we don't know. That's never said. All we know is she appeared on her horse to meet up with Aragorn. When it was in the books, it was like Cam said, Glorfindel, another elf, extremely powerful elf, by the way. And the thing is, they were summoned. You've been summoned to the Council of Elrond. No, they weren't. Each group was there for each race was there for a different reason. They just happened to be there at the same time, because between the time that the hobbits arrive at Rivendell to the time that they hold the council is only a couple of days. There would have been no time for Boromir to get there from Minas Tirith or Gimli to get there from Erebor.
Yeah, because you have, what is it? You have the Bashki version of this. Then there's the Rankin Bass version of this. And
I hated those.
And then you have this. Well, Bashki was good, but it did leave a lot. Stand the design. But the thing about it is, he never got a chance to finish the story. That's the only thing.
I understand why, because that design, that live action rotoscope, stupid, ugly design, I don't know what you call it, was just awful. Of that first Hobbit version they did. And the Rankin Bass Return of the King, I've had that he's a hobbit with only 9 fingers and the ring of doom. I've had that stuck in my head since elementary school.
I know my wife gets pissed off when I play it every once in a while. But but we'll leave it at this because we need to move on.
I could go on.
I mean, the point is that the Lord of the Rings is a good idea.
It's a good idea. It's shot very well. Even though there's some
it's
CGI.
Shot in that style.
Yeah,
it's shot in that epic style. Does it include everything? Of course not. No. Everyone should know that. Yeah. But it generally follows the idea of the books and has those at heart. It doesn't try to subvert the Lord of the Rings and say something that Tolkien didn't say, like hobbits are too misogynistic, or some crap like that. Oh, Aragorn needs to be deconstructed. He's too masculine.
I got an argument today. I got an argument today on Facebook, or not an argument, a discussion. Someone posted like, "Oh, Sean Astin said that he played Sam, that he was in love with Frodo, and it was a romantic kind of love." No, it wasn't. It was that love a servant has for his master, that a countryman has for each other. It was never meant to be romantic. They're family. All 4 of the hobbits are distantly related. Like Pippin is Frodo's second cousin. They're that his mother, Bilbo's mother was a Took. Was Pippin's aunt. They're that close. It's never been this. It's never been a physical gay
Don't worry.
kind of love.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, let's not get
Yeah,
into that. Let's not get into
no,
that.
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying not to. I couldn't think of another word. It's so much, in my opinion, the kind of love they have for each other in the movies and the story is so much pure and
Yeah,
than that kind of love.
yeah, it's different type. But speaking on them, because you said Magnificent Seven earlier on there, but why not? As an epic movie, even though Magnificent Seven, great film, it's a situation. But let's go back to the beginning of it, which is Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai.
Mm.
One of the great films. Tofiro Mifune, Takahashi Shima, Seiji Isao Kimura. I mean, if you want to see a true movie about honor, sacrifice, Seventh Samurai is well worth watching. I know Magnificent Seven is a great movie, and so many times that the Magnificent Seven has been redone, even in space. They've done it. They've done it on TV in all different types of forms. But when it comes down to it, Akira Kurosawa. This is a long movie. It's like over 3 hours, I believe. On this,
you would consider this an epic?
Yeah, the way this was shot, yes. This is an epic. It takes a long. It's the period on there because you're dealing with a lot of horsemen in this, because of the bandits and all that, and you're learning each of the characters as you go along as they go into the village, and it's done in a very big way.
Well, for example, I wouldn't consider, like, let's say the latest version of the Magnificent Seven, which I saw recently. I wouldn't consider that an epic. I mean, it's a good movie, but wouldn't concede. It's more, the sweeping vistas, the large, the traveling, the large, scenes of combat or stuff like that. Like, I mean, I see like, of course, Lord of the Rings, obviously, the Iliad and the Odyssey, obviously, an epic. I'm not sure that I would necessarily put that in this category, that epic category. But I should.
I would say suggest to see it.
I haven't seen the original. Yeah, I haven't seen the original.
See the original. It's different. It's different. It's much different than the westerns you've seen in other, the space version, and it takes a different pattern. That's why it's such a long movie. It's such a long movie to sit through, but it's well worth it. The finalization. Of course, it has that great ending. It's like, we didn't win, we always lose. They won. To that point. But
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Staying in Japan. This is one of the greats. This is from a technical point of view. This is the last cinematographer movie that is done without any CGIing, soldiers in, horses, or anything. Because when you see something like Game of Thrones, and you have like all these troops and stuff like that, most of it is just a small handful of guys, and then CGI the rest. This was one of the last films that truly went out and hired a crap load of guys. And that's Akira Kurosawa again, Ron. If you haven't seen Ron,
you realize they did the same thing in Lord of the Rings, right?
This is different. This is King Lear. This is Shakespeare's King Lear.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about with hiring people.
They hired them. Yeah, but you have to remember, with Lord of the Rings, they hired a good amount of people. And
they hired every single horseback rider in the country. They
still CGI'd a lot of the background.
They had to.
Yeah, of course. Ron, no, hear me out.
Done that in Lord
Ron, there is no CGI. They hired the hundreds of horsemen to shoot. There's a battle scene in this movie that is so epic. I mean, like I said, if you're familiar with King Lear, the story of King Lear and all that, it is a big movie. Similar to like the battle scenes of Troy and the Odyssey and on that. As it is one of the great masterpieces. Like it says right there on the poster, a visual masterwork. Hollywood does not shoot movies like this anymore. Like I said, this is one of the last of its classification. You still hire guys on horseback, or you hire the soldiers, but The other half of it is done by tricks and mirrors and CGI. That's how they do it these days. This is the last. If you get a chance, watch this movie. I have this on physical media. I pop it out every once in a while when I want to see a good story on there. It is fantastic. It is, if you want to watch it, Tubi has it available, free on Tubi. It is subtitled. Unfortunately, it's not. I don't think it was there a dub version. No, there's no dub. It's you have to read subtitles on this. But like I said, this is a reenactment of King Lear, and they do a pretty damn good job on this version. Obviously, there are some things missing from the Shakespeare that they did. They sort of transcended into Japanese history because they still, they added that Japanese folklore and the Japanese history of the samurai and all that into this, and adapting King Lear into this kind of universe, and it works. It works to that point. Mm-hmm. Saying, like I said, the epic film. Hollywood doesn't know what they're doing anymore. And same from The Odyssey, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, from the box office. People are saying, oh, we're praising it. It's the greatest thing ever made. No, it's not. It's not. It never will be. Because it has so many problems with it to the point that, you can't call it a masterpiece. Yes, other films have had their problems and errors and situations, but they were able to adapt and bring out a perfect film. What we have now is not so perfect, riddled with politics. How can I say it? Taking the hero out of the story and making him more toward, I've done wrong by doing what I've done, which is, to that point. We'll leave that off for another conversation another day. Well, we're about 4:22 in. I guess we're gonna go. I do have another edition of Madman's Real Fake Insanity.
Do we have time?
We have time. We'll make time.
Okay.
Okay. Well, first we have a little bit of a poster here. We'll give you a little bit of an intro. This week's version is based on manga covers, on stories that's out. Right now, there are two mangas which have been adapted into animes. That basically, one here you got Chain Smoking Cat, which is about drug addiction, chain smoking, homelessness, living in squalor and the situation. And we also have another one out called Smoking Behind the Supermarket with My Gal, which supposedly is supposed to be really good. I mean, both of these are supposed to be really good. So basically, yeah, these are crazy mangas turned into anime. So I said to myself, there's some other stuff that's coming out. Let me gather something together and mix it in, and maybe you guys can figure out which one of these are real, fake, or insanity. And the four that I'm talking about, start off here. The first one is a sort of a fantasy, and it's called Betrayed by the Hero, and I formed a MILF party with his mom. It's a story about a guy who basically got kicked out of being the hero due to jealousy. Okay. To get revenge, he decided to basically form a new party, but with guys that he battled with their mom. Number two is basically a guy who basically got kicked out of society, down on his life, so he decided to create a kingdom in the underpass of a highway. Number three is about a guy who drinks a lot, and he drinks and he drinks and he drinks. But every time he gets drunk, he unlocks a forbidden skill and makes him more powerful as a fighter. Every time I get drunk, I unlock another forbidden skill. And finally, the last one is, considering that we were talking about smoking a minute ago, is this person has smoked 10,000 cigarettes. And because of all the cigarette smoking he's been smoking all this time, he summoned a death god. Will this death god destroy the world or become the subservient to this smoker? So we've got these 4 particular manga covers on there. So which is fact, fake, or insanity?
Stop, you want to go?
No, you can go. Let's take them in order. Go ahead. You can do.
I think with like the popularity of harem anime, A is real.
And what about the other 3?
Give me a second.
I would, I would say, well, let's go with each. And okay, I tend to agree with you on A. I mean, that just seems, real with the whole MILF thing. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff. So I would say, yeah, that's probably true.
B. I want to say fake. I just don't. I just feel this one's fake. I don't know.
I don't think that's. I mean, it doesn't seem to like living under an overpass doesn't seem to be a very anime thing to do. Like the MILF thing. If I have to guess, if these are not all real or not all fake, then I have to say this one doesn't seem very real. I mean, who wants to live under, especially a Japanese person, who wants to live under an underpass? No, but that said, maybe it's so out there that someone would
happen
do it,
in Japanese society.
Yeah, it does, but it would be very, very shameful and stuff. So I'm guessing that they probably wouldn't be something someone would want to write. Now that said, it could be so far over the top that they would write it, but I'm going to go with no as well.
Okay.
See, I want to be real. I think that'd be funny. So I'm going to say real on C.
Snob?
I'm going to say no. I don't know why. I think that could be. I mean, what skills is he getting? I'm going to guess no.
That'd be the point to look.
Well, it's forbidden skill.
No,
so he's like, every time he drinks, he unlocks another forbidden skill.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just something it doesn't feel fit in the thing with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
And the 4th.
I think this one's real because this one kind of reminds me of like Death Note, one of those things where something mundane summons a god or something. So I'm going to say real.
Yeah, right. I'm not sure about this one either, 50-50, but I'm going to say yes as well because I think it fits in. You showed us these other ones. I think addiction is interesting, and the whole summoning of a death god, something like that. I think that would appeal to like the Japanese reader. So I'm kind of 50-50, but if I have to say on this one, I'm going to go more towards the yes. Oh wait, he smoked 10,000 cigarettes. Oh,
yep.
Well, maybe that's too high. Maybe no. I'll stick with yes for that one.
All righty.
10,000 might be too high. Maybe it was 1,000. No, I'm joking.
And the answers to these. Only the MILF party is real. Which is right now being negotiated for an anime adaptation. The other 3,
so it's not real.
You're right on the Death God one on the end. That could be considering the smoking has been big now. You have 2 animes right now out about smoking. You never know that it might be insanity. It might become real.
Yeah, I think that one might be something that they would eventually do. But yeah. The first one, I was pretty sure that was real. I mean,
the forbidden skill one, it's not unheard of in anime. drinking is a big thing, of course, in Japan. When you go out to work and stuff like that, there is an anime out there where basically it ends every episode. He's in a fantasy universe. He ends up every episode drinking a beer, trying to figure out his next steps to the point. So it's not uncommon on there.
But that's different than getting drunk. The Japanese
drunk,
are kind of they wouldn't be so great on drinking, but getting drunk and making a fool of yourself would kind of be.
It does happen in the anime manga universe on there. Yeah. So, I mean, we had what was it? I watched it last night. Skeleton Knight in Another World. They were eating a meal and they didn't realize that the meal was infused with liquor. So basically, they were eating, and as they were eating, they were getting drunk. So they were getting like super drunk.
That's what you do. That's what you do with your children, eh? You give them,
No kids in it. There's no kids.
There's no kids.
Well, there are kids in this anime, but the kids weren't eating this. It was just the two main characters on there. And the underpass one, there are like the chain smoking cat. I believe that deals with homelessness also on an overpass as well, because she lives in filth and all that. It's foreseen that it can be possible. Building a kingdom, you never know. You never know. King of the hobos in a way. So that's this week's Madman Fact, Fake, or Insanity on there. So let's jump into the big part today. Hang on, I'm just lost here a minute. And the numbers for this week from the box office. Obviously, The Odyssey won on there, which it has been readjusted. Most people don't realize the numbers that I got here are the numbers I grabbed on Sunday. Monday into Tuesday, some of the numbers have changed on there. Perfect example, The Odyssey was scheduled at 124.5 million. As of right now, it's 123 million on the box office for the U.S. and 140 million overseas to 282 on there. Moana was listed at 19 here, was downgraded to 17 million on the over the weekend at 179 worldwide, which basically they're going to be losing at least 150 million on that alone. Toy Story 5, 14 million here, but downgraded to 13 million, which brings it to 431 domestic, 527 international, which they are 50 million away from hitting the $1 billion mark, which is no shock. Same thing with Minions and Monsters, down to 13. They are total of 360 worldwide, doing 222 overseas. So they may break even. And rounding off the top, Evil Dead Burn did not 5 million, but 4.7, with a total of 51 million worldwide, 26 in the international box office. But here's the one that is got to get you. I don't have it listed here. Obsession is in 8. Do you think they made any money this weekend? I mean, this past weekend?
I think maybe.
No, come on. They can't make money. They've already released it out into the wild and everything. No one's going to see it after that.
2.3 million at the box office.
That's pretty good.
Number 8.
Did Backrooms make any?
Backrooms is at 714,000.
Still on there. Oh, that's good. People still want to see it.
Supergirl 1.4. Young Washington scored a 3.5 million in number 7. The Invite 3.9. Scary Movie. Everybody else is dropping off. It's starting to drop off. I mean, Masters of the Universe is still at 113 million worldwide. Talk about really badly gone at this point.
Welcome to EC and Rumble. Hey.
Yep. Thank you, EC. EC was here. Thank you. Good afternoon. The thumbnail brought you in. Yes, thank you. We really do appreciate that. Get a lot of people on Rumble today. Probably thanks to Jill. Jill rated anti-server. Jill rated R earlier before you got here, snob.
Wow, that's so mean, coming and stealing your stuff.
Yeah, but getting to the Odyssey, I mean, there's a lot of controversy on this alone. As of this morning, and I'll throw a couple at you. Culture Casino has already was throwing out this, talking about the verifications on the Rotten Tomatoes, that there's a lot of fake posts on there, and verification, you have to buy tickets through them to be verified. To that point. EC, what were you talking about there? Henry Fonda threatened to quit the production because he felt his part was too small. Which movie was that, EC, you're talking about? But yeah, Culture's talking about that basically it's some fake verifications on there. Mr. Obvious has also put out that if you remember back a bit, Disney was accused of this, that basically they're buying up tickets in movie theaters to sort of basically pad the ending on that to that point. But a lot of people have come forward, including employees at movie theaters, saying like, "Yeah, I was there, but there was nobody here, or there were some people there, but it wasn't a sellout." And then just before we went,
I'm very curious to see this movie next week, what the drop off is. I think that'll be your indication, because a lot of these were pre-purchased, months ago, because it's Nolan, it's the Odyssey. So I'm really curious of the buzz next week. And I think the problem is, my understanding is that the IMAX movies are sold out sort of for the next 3 weeks for this movie. But it's the question of, will normal people go and see it on the, quote, regular screen, because it's supposed to be so much better on the big screen. Now, I don't know. I mean, you really want to see more space above the actors' heads? That's what usually you get.
Yeah.
Not necessarily mean a better movie, but who knows?
Okay, EC was like the longest day. Okay, thank you, EC. I didn't know that. Also, like I said, this came out right before we went on air. Valiant Renegade has a video out today. It's just now out. He's supposedly saying, even at $1 billion box office, the Odyssey Financial has Chris Nolan paycheck problem, and Universal still may not be in the black at $1 billion. The Odyssey real cost and Nolan's insane paycheck kiss profits goodbye.
I mean, honestly, I hate to be a negative. I hope this movie fails, to be honest, because I want Hollywood to get back to making good movies, not trying to shoehorn in feminist propaganda or whatever. Just make a good movie. Make it for men. Make other movies for women. Whatever it is, that's fine. But taking this epic and trying to change it, and like I said earlier, this cultural vandalism, I'm not impressed. I mean, if you feel that you don't do enough movies and there's not some race in it, then go do it. Hollywood should sit down and say, listen, we're going to do one story from, each region of the globe. We're going to do one from that's Africa focused, and everybody can be black. We're going to do one from, the Far East. Everyone can be, Asian. They can all be, Chinese, Japanese, whatever. They just do that, right? And not trying to shoehorn, taking you out of the movie when we see the Greeks and, there's one black guy and one Asian guy and then another guy, you're just like, are these the Greeks? What's going on? Just do that. I would pay to see a movie if it was good that was based on, say some conflict between two African tribes, for example. Like, how would that be any different than, any other movie. I mean, it could be just as good. Yeah, and it'd be interesting if it was made correctly. You could get some cultural aspects of the region too, which was interesting for moviegoers, I would think.
Well, as much as I don't like Matt Walsh, but he puts it pretty good on this. In Apocalypto, Mel Gibson transports you in the mind of a Mayan 500 years ago.
That's a great movie.
In Northman, Robert Eggers transports you into the mind of a Viking 1,000 years ago. In The Odyssey, Christopher Nolan transports you in the mind of a liberal woman in 2017.
Yeah, that's a pretty good. I hadn't heard that before, but yeah, Apocalypto, a great movie. I mean, can't understand anything from it. You got to read the subtitles, but I mean that's a perfect example of it's some small tribe from Mexico. I don't know anything about that. I have no idea about it, but it's well done. I love that movie. It's great.
And joining us over here, this big soccer World Cup fan himself, Death Angel Shadows. Hello, Jeff. He's like 1 minute. He's got an audio problem. Oh, and I just took myself out of the side here. Oh, he'll be back. He shall be back.
So I guess he's happy that Spain won. Part of that.
So much the controversy on Spain winning on that one too, as well. On that.
Yeah. Hollywood only knows how to tell stories about L.A. Yeah, it seems that way. Why bother, eh? Imagine an Apocalypto version, the Odyssey with everyone speaking ancient Greek. That would be pretty,
yeah,
pretty great.
I mean,
hello.
Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Good. So Moana's the big winner, right?
No.
Is anybody actually going to go see this Odyssey movie?
No, I refuse to see it. I've read the Odyssey.
3 million people version, money wise.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. What did it cost to make, and what did it cost to market?
Well, Valiant, you missed before coming in. Valiant Renegade has a video coming out that even if this makes $1 billion, they won't be in the black.
What? Really?
Really? According to Valiant, that's what he says. He says because Nolan's paycheck is it's through the roof. On top of that, and plus, figured this movie cost at least $400 million to make.
Insane.
That's the same thing that they ran into when what's his name did Battlefield Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, what is his name?
Travolta.
John Travolta. The cinematographer said that was the cheapest budget I ever had to work with. Basically, he had enough for like 2 lights and a shoestring.
How come these people, when they want to do their magnum opus, which this is anything but a magnum opus, why is it that they don't give them a percent of proceeds in their contract instead? Is that just not done anymore, or what?
No, that's never been done to my knowledge.
Well, why don't they?
Closest that's ever done with that was George Lucas getting merchandising rights to Star Wars.
Well, actors get residuals, and they get a lot of times they'll get a
very
cut.
Little.
But I mean, instead of if you're paying Nolan $500 million or whatever, that's insane. I could see giving him, okay, you'll get X number of million and then a percentage of royalty. That would make more sense to me.
Well, considering that the way they shot this, I mean, it's horrible. They're saying, "Oh, I hear these people. It's such a great film. It's such a great film." You had armor that didn't belong in there. You had characters that didn't belong in this story.
The Viking ship doesn't belong in there.
The Viking ship doesn't belong in this. Tom Holland wearing pants about 200 to 300 years before the invention of pants.
No, actually, it was about 1,000 because pants didn't come to Europe till the mid 1st century.
Right, but still,
they were invented in like 3,000 years ago.
Yeah,
they were invented I looked this up because you piqued my. They were invented in Asia in like 3000 BC.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I could see
they
them
didn't come over to Europe till like 1st or 2nd century.
Yeah, it's just. okay, and people are like, oh, well, technically, Homer didn't write the Odyssey. It was
No.
a story that was told. Yes, it was a what was it? A poem that was
It was
really,
8 poems.
and they
Only 2 of them have survived history.
and they were verbal, and then
Yeah.
somebody else wrote it down, right? That's my understanding of that. That's what I've heard, and I've heard this recently. But I just I'm sorry. I don't know. Uh, I don't know.
No, you want to hear something? And I heard this last night from someone, one of the
How many Greek
literary
people are in it?
YouTubers.
How
They
many
said,
people?
the thing with Emily Wilson's book on there is like the first 90 pages is the introduction by her.
Yeah. Well,
And it's just chastising. It's let me put it in this perspective. She calls it a migrant with a complete false. Homer portrays himself as an exile, not a migrant. A soldier with a traumatic past, a colonial invader. So you think about this is what this movie has been put. It's pushed as an anti-Greek.
poor Greeks.
Yeah.
My uncle's Greek.
You're wondering to that point, to that whole situation.
You know
And
what
the thing
happened to this cultural appropriation BS that they've been
Oh,
that
I
they were
know.
spouting about for years? This is how many Greeks were actually in this film?
I have no idea. I don't think it's maybe
Zero.
None of the
Every-
lead roles.
No,
Every
it's
person
zero.
every person in the film is Greek. What are you talking about? It's a movie about Greeks. They're all
Stop
Greek.
it,
Every single
Snob.
one of them.
Including
No, they're
Wheezy.
not.
They are.
Wheezy of Detroit.
No,
Yeah, she's
they're
Greek.
not.
And here's
I'm
the
gonna
other
get some
thing,
hate for that one.
and here's the
Stop.
thing that they're pushing in the media, that basically, the Odyssey, it's the biggest opening ever for a Nolan film. 2 things, and I said this earlier on. You didn't put in for that the price of IMAX and the cost of inflation.
Well, I was gonna say inflation. I'm sure because Nolan didn't he did Batman or something like
He
way
did
back
Dark
when,
Knight
right?
Rises and The Dark Knight.
Rises, yeah.
Okay.
So
Let's put it this way. Odyssey did 263. In Dark Knight, in today's dollars, would be 307 million. Dark
okay.
Knight Rises would be 362 million opening day.
And what about the cost? That's the other thing.
Still, this would have made Dark Knight Rises. Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises was made money.
Yeah, but what your numbers that you've got up there on the screen are, right? That's what 100 and what is it? 100. I can't look at it right now.
The original was 249 million for The Dark Knight Rises and 198 million originally in 2008.
Okay.
So allowing for this is using the U.S. CPI data standard proxy for these comparisons. That's what was used. The person who put this out. This is the numbers that in current dollars in 2026
adjusted
for inflation. Yep. The Dark Knight Rises and Dark Knight would be above the Odyssey.
I just want a good movie again.
I know.
We had one. I'm that's why I'm hopeful for this Paramount merger.
No, it's been put on hold for 15 days. So
yeah, I know some radical nut job judge that probably, and everybody's like, oh, but they asked for it. No. What they asked for a change because the person that was the judge that they originally was assigned the case had done work with the WGA before. So they had a conflict of interest right there.
And see, the other thing is, getting away a little bit on back to the Odyssey.
Yeah.
They used Emily's version, but they could have done a little bit more research and found the 1996 version, which is a little bit more closer to the poem, which was written by Robert Fagles,
which I think is free on YouTube right now. It's listed as free to watch.
No. Fagles is the book.
Oh no! I'm talking about there was a
Amansante. Yeah, I know the Amansante Part 1 and Part 2 is available through Shout. I was about to say through Shout on their website.
this one, whatever it was on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, Shout has they have their own channel through their
Yeah.
website, and
Oh,
yeah, they have parts 1 and 2.
I mean,
The only one is I'm looking for is the 1968 version, which is more the true version to the poem itself. It is missing certain things on there, but it is more toward the dialogue portion of the poem.
Yeah.
On there, and a lot of people, a lot of film cinematographers say like that's the one to watch on there, and then watch the Armand Assante version, and then watch the Return, which will be the third version on there.
Yeah.
Those are like the 3 best. They say, oh yeah, you can go back and watch Ulysses with Kirk Douglas, but they took a lot of liberties on that version. The only thing good about the Ulysses movie version is the cinematography.
Yeah. Well, you do what you can. I don't know. I just, I have no desire to see the Odyssey. It looks like utter crap to me. I'm sure it's pretty visually. It's probably nice. The best thing to come from the Odyssey is all the memes. To be quite frank.
Yeah, I know. Especially the Elliot Page memes. It's God,
Yes.
those his star. Someone, and I couldn't get it for the show because a lot of things are going on around here. Someone put a video together in song to a lot of the criticism, a lot of the people who criticized the movie as far as on X.
Mm-hmm.
So they did it in song format, and it's just it's really funny. It's really funny because you're hearing all the people criticizing the movie itself. I mean, listen, the costume designs are all wrong. Like I said before.
Oh yeah, they're not
accurate. They're not period. I mean,
none,
you had
none of this stuff is period.
Yeah, you had the one guy that was in the costume, the whole black costume that's like, AKA Batman meets Darth Vader.
I mean, we're talking the Bronze Age.
Yeah,
right?
The Bronze Age. All you gotta do is go to the Museum of Natural History if you want to see, Bronze era armor.
Yep. It doesn't take that. Why don't they do any research? It's not like it's hard. We've got we got this magic box that can tell you everything. Anything you want to know, you can look it up really easily. You don't even have to go to a library these days.
Now Snob said that he's waiting till next week till the break. The drop next week.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for 9 days from now.
When did okay, so I see Disney's competing against itself.
Yeah.
For some stupid reason.
Yeah. But do you know what happens in 9 days from now?
What comes out?
We are all 9 days older.
9 days older. Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's gonna blow this away. That will
even if Spider-Man is a bad movie, because I don't like the story they chose, it will gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will make money. It will make a shitload of money.
I just don't understand why they tried to release Moana and Toy Story 5 around the same time. I get why they would release Toy Story 5 against Minions and Monsters, right? That makes sense. That's a direct competitor, right? But I don't know. I really don't have a desire to see the Moana movie either. I like the cartoon version.
It's a shot-for-shot remake of the cartoon in live action. What's the point?
It's pointless.
Just watch the original and squint your eyes a little bit and pretend that's The Rock.
And I've heard it's more colorful, and I've seen people doing side-by-side, scene-by-scene comparisons of what it looked like in the cartoon, and the cartoon looks better.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. The live action is awful. They continue to do this. The thing is, and I've said this before, Disney, which now Sony is running this division for them, is they have an entire vault of movies they can remaster, which they've done some. Alice in Wonderland was just remastered.
Song of the South.
Yeah, exactly. Song of the No, don't laugh. Song of the South should be re-released.
Never going to happen.
Never say never. because it has been out there.
With
It is out in the
fucking
open. It's out in the
Disney,
wild.
it's never gonna happen.
They released it overseas. They didn't release it here.
Yeah. They could even remake it and modify the story a little bit.
Modify what? There's
I mean,
nothing wrong with the story. I've
I know.
seen Song of
You
the
know
South.
that, and I know that. And people seem to think that Uncle Remus was one particular type of individual when he was actually not. Um,
They had white people in squalor in
Yep.
this movie.
Yep.
There's the little girl that's in this movie. That's like one of the other kids in the movie. She lives with her family in a like almost a hut.
right. I've seen it.
near the plantation.
I mean, and two of Disney's biggest, most iconic songs came from this movie.
Exactly.
Came from Song of the South.
Exactly.
And I mean, it's like, are you kidding? Zip-diddy doo-dah. Come on. That's the Disney song. That and When You Wish Upon a Star, which is of course from Pinocchio, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean,
I mean, we said earlier, Gone with the Wind right now on Netflix. They're saying, oh, it's a movie about racism, and basically, if you want to find out more, because it's in the description line. It says, if you want to find out more about this, contact BLM.
oh no, you should never. Aren't they?
I
Aren't
mean,
they
this is on
under
Netflix.
investigation?
Yes, they are.
That's why I don't have
Let's
Netflix
not.
anymore.
But no, the stupidity is how you're calling it racist, and it has nothing to do with racism.
Well, Uncle Remus was a sharecropper.
Yeah. Well, no, not only that, Gone with the Wind also. It's it's
Yeah.
Atlanta in the olden days.
Yep.
Right before the fire burns down Atlanta.
And the whole story of Brer Rabbit, even if they didn't want to do the whole regular Song of the South, they could do something focused on Brer Rabbit and the fox. That
Look, even if both of these movies, whatever movie you're talking about, were the most racist thing ever to be put on film, they still should be kept and released because they are a historical aspect of the time and what people who made the movie at the time thought about whatever period it is they made the movie about. They're a reflection of our society at that time. Just for that reason alone, they should be kept. And I heard Outpost earlier saying that you don't understand history, you're doomed to repeat it. Should we not take these lessons? Are these things so bad that we should not learn about them and realize mistakes we've made from them and then fix it? Are you going to just erase those mistakes so that we can make them again? I mean, that's a perfect point, right? Even if you feel that way, you can feel it. Maybe you don't feel that way, but even if it was the worst thing, I would still be for keeping it.
The other thing about like Song of the South was the actor that played Uncle Remus made history in that role. He was the first black actor to win an Academy Award for that role. The very first. He broke a glass ceiling with that role. And it's disgusting what they've tried to do to it. They basically have just brushed aside somebody who made history because they don't like the optics of it.
Yep. Like I said, there's an entire vault of Disney stuff that could be remastered, re-put out in theaters, because there's tons of movies that Terminator 2 is back to theaters. Akira is coming back to theaters. Manhunter is coming back to theaters. There's so many older films that are being remastered, put back in there. Disney can sit there if they want to make some good money. They can put it out there and compete. You're not going to get the top of the box office, but you're going to make some money.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so I'm just waiting for Toy Story, the live motion
That is never going to happen.
What?
You
Don't
say
put
that.
out
Don't-
in the
you say
universe.
that.
I wouldn't say
Don't
that.
put that out. in the
You
universe.
don't. I mean, they did Moana, and it didn't need it.
It's Toy Story the musical.
I think they already have that. They did that
Probably.
with the Lion King. Actually, I've heard the Lion King musical is actually pretty good, but
People liked it.
It's been on Broadway since the 90s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
I've
good.
never
No.
seen it.
Yeah,
and-
no. There's nothing wrong with the Lion King, the Broadway Lion King. It's a fantastic show. I recommend highly. If you're in New York, you get a chance. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah, Disney could make lots of money just remaking, as mentioned, not remaking, just upscaling, re-releasing them in theaters, because there are people with kids who their parents took them to see Cinderella, and they would, going to the movies is an event, right? We don't need to go to the movies anymore. We can have almost as good stuff at home, but yet the movies have not died. Why is that? Because going to the movies is going out. It's a night out.
Yes,
As
it
opposed
is a
to sitting in at
special
home.
event. Mhm.
It's an event, and you could do that with your kids. You cut the prices down a little bit. People would take their kids to see all these various Disney movies in the theaters that are 20 plus or more.
Can you imagine them remastering Fantasia for IMAX?
Oh, it'd be great, but unfortunately, to Disney, it's problematic.
Fantasia?
Yeah.
What's wrong with Fantasia?
A couple scenes.
Get brooms in it, I think.
No, nothing to do with the brooms. There's some blackface characters in Fantasia, which I have no problem with that at all. But unfortunately, that's why. Why do you think Disney hasn't done an IMAX version?
I don't know, but a lot of their classic stuff could be redone and remastered for IMAX.
Remastered, put in IMAX. There's so much they could put, and it wouldn't cost them that much more than a basic production of a movie.
Pinocchio, I mean, any of the classic stuff. You want to re-release, or you want to redo something? Don't remake
Dave.
it.
Thank you. The
Re-release it.
The racist hippos. Thank you. That I was trying to remember where it was on that.
Oh,
yeah.
If they're really worried about it, they could change the audio.
Aren't all hippos racist?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, it's some stupid stuff on there. I love the movie. I saw Fantasia in the theater. It's a great film to see. It should not be lost to history like everything else that's getting lost to history itself.
Well, remember, this too is a time when you couldn't go see a live action movie, if you will, in color. So the only way you could see a color movie was if it was a cartoon at one point in time.
Yeah.
So
also there's certain things you can't do in live action because there's no CGI, there's no so you need to do it in animation because you can draw anything. You can, you can make a pumpkin turn into a carriage. All that stuff.
Yeah. And it has those classic movies have a very unique look because of the way that they were filmed, the way that they were each frame, they had individual glass cells that they used, and they've got this layered process that they were using to take these individual scenes, and it was revolutionary, groundbreaking for the day.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, a lot of this filmmaking was groundbreaking for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And now everything's gone to shit. So basically, we're gonna see this weekend, see how the Odyssey does, which there's gonna be fall off, and in 9 days from now, the Spider-Man will be released. Let's see how Odyssey does against Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man hits the
Thursday
following
Thursday, week from Thursday.
Following weekend box office. I mean, doesn't the weekend start on Thursday now for Hollywood?
Yeah, they started on there. This weekend you got Pinocchio, the Pinocchio horror movies coming out this weekend, and a couple other small films. Nothing major. It's going to be a light weekend.
Spider-Man is releasing on the 31st, so
that's a week from Thursday.
That's a Friday.
Yeah,
So
Well,
it'll
officially
come
they
out
Thursday.
it might be
They'll have a
Thursday
Thursday.
night,
They'll have a Thursday night.
midnight 01. But,
Yeah.
No, they don't even do that. It'll be the 9 o'clock showing on Thursday here.
the
I can
official
almost
release
guarantee
date
you.
says the 31st.
Yeah, that's how that works. They just yeah, they try to
Remember, he's in Canada. He doesn't get that.
yeah. No, I'm
goes
saying
backwards,
I
but-
know movies that come out on Friday. Everything's supposed to be a Friday release, but it's Thursday evening is when you can usually the first showing.
Well, what do you mean? That's lying. Why don't they say the 30th then? The release date is the 30th.
Because they're trying to pad
Oh
the
my
numbers.
goodness.
That's what it's all about. It's all about padding the
Dude,
numbers
you're
to make
thinking
it look
logic-
better. Just like
Logic does not exist when it comes to
Okay,
Hollywood.
okay. Let's leave the logic out the window for now.
Damn
Let's
damn
close
you,
this out.
logic.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question.
Let's stop this before we get into the.
Let me ask an Odyssey question.
Yeah, go ahead.
How come Greeks don't have any cool names anymore, like Menelaus and Agamemnon and stuff? How come you don't see Greek boys or girls being named like that anymore? They have all these, lame names like
They speak
George
now,
and-
Snob.
Yeah, well, I mean, why don't they bring back those cool names?
It's not
Wouldn't
even
that be cool.
We don't even speak the
Little
same
Menelaus,
English that
where's
they
your permission
did
for him?
500-600 years ago.
I think the
We'll
Greeks
leave
should bring
that
back the
to next
cool
week.
ancient Greek names.
We'll leave that to next
That would
week
be
and
cool.
figure out. Maybe we can convince the Greeks to bring back the old names, but the old days.
bring back Menomenon. Do. Phenomenon.
Speaking of Phenomenon, coming up at 6. And happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Dean and Vicky. Yes, that's right. It's the anniversary episode on Destiny's Dispatch. I don't know how many years they said.
Is it today now? Because it's 10 o'clock
Today,
their
6 p.m.
time.
6 p.m. Eastern on our time clock here.
11
course.
p.m. British summertime.
British
That's
summertime. Yes. Yep. The link is in the description on both Rumble and YouTube on this, so you can click on that, go over and check them out. Give them a little love and a little happy anniversary on there.
Yeah, we will have to do that.
Outpost Nerd, what do you got?
Bring me up. Bring me up.
Bring him up. Bring him up.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. I'm at the bottom scale here. Hold on. I have to swipe back up again here. And zoom in.
What's that?
Wouldn't you like to know?
What is that could be?
It's all my prizes that I won on the 4th of July from the bearded wonder down below me. I will be doing an unboxing if I can get my camera to work through my phone. And I will be doing a review of the new Avengers Doomsday trailer that just dropped, I think, yesterday, the day before. And from what I've seen, it looks
Yes, an Infinity
badass.
Vision.
Like, there's one shot where that I've seen so far but I stopped right there. Thor takes Stormbreaker and just as hard as he can swings it at Doom, and Doom just with 2 fingers just stops him dead in his tracks. It's gonna be so. I'm looking forward to this movie, so I will be doing a review on that.
Yeah, but the funny part is the Infinity Vision, which is it's only Dolby 3. It's only the Dolby Atmos. Because unfortunately, what is it? What else is out at the same time is Dune.
Yeah.
Dune's taking up all the IMAX.
Oh, the
on that.
Dune 3.
Yeah, they're taking up all the IMAX on there. So, and also live from the bunker, Sci-Fi for Me TV. Supposedly he's not going to be on this week. Supposedly, because I guess he's got to do his job with out of town. He's will be in and out. So
He's got to make a living. How dare he?
Yeah, I know he's got to make a living. But if something big comes up, he said, be sure to check the links, check X and all that. That he might come on live if something comes up.
Brand new day.
Most likely, probably. Yeah, what's coming on there? And then, of course, Sunday night, Sunday. What do we got, Death Angel Shadows?
I have Alan Hammock of classic TSR fame. He was around in the 70s. Him along with Another guest that I'm going to be having the following week. Shh! Don't tell anybody. I won't name the guest that's following because we don't want Alan to get a big head about this. That's what he said. But at any rate, Alan Hammock, he was part of the team that created Top Secret and wrote several modules for TSR for D&D back in the day, as well as some of the other games that they did. So that's going to be fun. He'll be on for probably be another short show because I mean we might be able to Cam and I might be able to keep it going after we let him go, but he's like, yeah, I can only sit for about an hour, so um, yeah. Unlike the last time, the last episode, last Sunday, Cam and I we crossed the line there, I think, and what about 5 minutes over, didn't we? He was showing up
Oh,
late
how
to
dare
Snob.
you?
Oh my God, Snob, I'm sure was throwing a fit. But
I'm as calm and cool as a cucumber.
are you okay? All right.
But
Well,
I've been on the farm
you
long
know.
enough to know bullshit. I'm kidding.
Yeah. But I do
Yep.
have
So
some
that
stuff to
that doesn't even
unbox.
bother me.
I got some unboxing stuff to do. I got to do some more videos, so those will be videos. And if I can ever get the time, I'll probably do some editing and maybe post some best of the Bad News Bards episodes. Maybe on Jason's channel to keep his views up there. I've got a whole bunch of them I need to go through. So
and then tomorrow night, what do we got, Snob?
nothing. Nope.
It's
Absolutely nothing.
Babylon 5. The propaganda episode. The reporters, different ones are back. Yeah. We a reporting group from ISN comes to Babylon 5. It's quote seeking the truth. Will they get the truth? Will they make up the truth? What'll happen? We'll have to see. I saw the episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
You what?
I enjoyed the episode.
No. I thought I heard you say you enjoyed it.
I did. I just said that. I enjoyed the episode.
Oh,
That's the third time.
I gotta clean my ears out. I keep on hearing him say he enjoyed the episode.
All right. I'm not going to repeat myself again. All right.
All right. And what do we have for Top Lofty? Do we have
Not
anything
yet. Damn it.
We gotta be on
Nothing
him
yet.
just like Cam.
I gotta
So
catch
what are we
up.
doing? What are we doing, Snob? I'll come up with something last minute.
Mm-hmm. And should we announce it now? What we're doing?
Who's we?
No.
me
I
and
think you
Snob.
should wait till next.
We'll hold off on that. Okay. Yeah.
we haven't
got
talked
something
about
we're
it in
working
detail.
together.
It's just a suggestion.
We haven't talked detail yet, but we got something coming on the burner on there.
You haven't even agreed.
Obviously, Madman.
Really, but anyway.
Oh, I thought I did. Oh,
Sort
so
of.
much that's
You're
going
like,
on,
okay.
My wife just arrived home from the emergency room from my little one. He's still there,
Oh, no.
so he's in an oxygen tank. So
Oh, fur babies.
yeah. No, he has asthma.
Yes, it's
and
his fur baby.
he's-
Your fur baby has
yeah,
asthma.
the steroids are not working. Good thing that it's not the heart.
Whoa. I just saw something on Facebook. Godzilla vs. Kong actress Kaylee Hottie reportedly dies in car crash at 18.
Oh,
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, that came out this morning.
Yeah, it's 4
Oh,
4
my
hours,
God.
but Madman hadn't mentioned it.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
I love that movie.
Like I said, my today's been a little bit
it
upside
was
down
on
for me
X
today.
this morning.
So
Well, there's some other.
Someone should have mentioned it.
There's some other breaking news too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
Apparently
where was
Hasbro, they've got this new this new live play. They're trying to compete against Critical Role, which neither is exciting, but apparently they were going, look, we've got 200,000 more views than Critical Role does on our show. They've been buying views. They got busted buying views. Hasbro buying views on YouTube.
Shame. Also, Man with the Show Summer Edition. We're still going on with that. I think it's tomorrow or the day after, we're going to have an update finally on the Mercedes Carrera trial. It's been a while. There has been some changes. The new lawyers, still more delays. Katrina West is back presiding over it, and considering after what she just done to another case concerning about the if you guys remember the truck driver that plowed over 3 people and got just only a slap on the wrist of a couple of years. Well, the judge on that case is now the judge on this case. So, it has been on this case for a while now, but was replaced for a little bit. And now she's back on it. So there's a lot to go into. And we'll go back with it a little bit. We're talking more Crunchyroll. We haven't decided what we're doing yet for next Tuesday. Obviously, we will have the box office. Hopefully, because I just got this. Let me just put to this point. Hang on, camera. There we go. And I, got a lot to do this week. So basically, we just got this new keyboard. We're putting up Red Dragon Artemis Pro.
Is that 100? Is that 104 key keyboard? Or is it? Or is it more?
So. Hang on.
I need to replace my G910, and I do not want to give up my G keys.
I think it is.
Okay, yeah, it's got.
To look it up.
Show the back. Show the back. No, yeah. Move over. Okay, so, interesting. Are they cherry keys, or do you know?
It's anime. It's an anime keyboard, so you're able to remove it and change it around, change the layout.
I'll have to look it up. You have to.
It is a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, I know we're nerding out. Sorry.
And I got the matching.
Poor snob. We're talking tech on him. Sorry. My apologies.
Does anybody want to know what I'm going to have for supper?
Yeah. What are you going to have for supper?
For the audience, nobody cares.
No, we don't.
Yeah. Let's close this out. Thank you everybody for showing up. Like I said, see what happens next week. Hopefully everything on that. Hopefully, little Jay will be back with us, back in the house. Hopefully we'll know in the next 24 hours, little prayers and on that. So until next time, thank you for tuning in. Thank you. Especially thank you for those who came over here on YouTube, and also the new batch of people that have come over on Rumble. We had a lot of people watching on Rumble today. So that's a good thing. So until next time, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bring back ancient Greek names.
Yep. Don't forget, stay informed, stay curious, and most of all, stay mad.
I'm always.
Thanks for coming by. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe we might let Madman out for the next live stream.